Hello everyone. Today I am here with the one short video of the chapter Quadratic Equations along with the important questions. Let's understand the concept of quadratic equations. Ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 is the standard form of a quadratic equation where a, b and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. And moreover, a is the coefficient of x squared and b is the coefficient of x and c is constant. So degree of the equation is 2. And the values of x for which a quadratic equation is satisfied are called the roots or zeros of the quadratic equation. Just see here, for the equation x squared plus 2x minus 3 equal to 0, here if I put in place of x, if I put the value of x as 1, so then it becomes x square means 1 square plus 2 into x, that is 2 into 1, that is 2, minus 3. So 1 square is 1 plus 2 minus 3 equal to 0. Just you add this, you get 3 minus 3 equal to 0. So since left hand side is equal to right hand side, so here that means what? X is equal to 1 is the 0 of the polynomial. So if I replace some other number in place of x, and if you get the value of x as the equation as 0, then that number will be the 0 of the equation. If I take in place of x as minus 3, so I need to replace minus 3 in place of x. So, wait, this is x square. So here minus 3 square will be 9 plus 2 into minus 3 and minus 3. So when we solve it, if we get the value of this equal to 0, then x equal to minus 3 will be the 0 of the polynomial. Just check. Minus 3 square is 9. 2 into minus 3 is minus 6 and this is minus 3. So 9 minus 3 is 6 and this minus 6, which is equal to 0. Since when we replace the value of x as minus 3 and we are getting the value of this equation as 0, therefore minus 3 is the 0 of the polynomial. So the quadratic equation has at most 2 zeros. Let's come to the graphical representation. So for this equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So when we draw a graph, you will get a parabola. So parabola is of U-shaped graph, which we say it as parabola. So here it may be open upwards or it may be open downwards. So both are parabolas. So now here the roots of a quadratic equation are the points where the parabola cuts the x-axis. So if you observe this graph, here the parabola cuts the x-axis at 2 points. It is intersecting x-axis at minus 1 and 1. So minus 1 and 1 are the zeros of the equation. And this equation has 2 zeros. So from this graph we come to know that our equation has 2 distinct roots, that is minus 1 and 1. Both are different. And sometimes the equation has 2 equal roots. So in that case, the parabola will intersect the x-axis at 1 point. So can you see here the parabola is intersecting the x-axis at point 3. So the value, the 0 of the polynomial is 3. That means, and as you know that the quadratic equation has at most 2 zeros. So the other 0 will be also 3. So this, the quadratic equation for this graph has 2 equal roots. That is 3 and 3. And sometimes we say that for the quadratic equation, the real roots does not exist. So that means the parabola will not intersect the x-axis. So here, since the graph we are observing that the parabola is not intersecting the x-axis, so the equation for this graph will not have any roots. So now just check how we identify that the parabola is open upwards or it is open downwards. So to check that, you need to check the coefficient of x square. The coefficient of x square is always a, that is 4. Here a is equal to 4, which is positive. And you all know that positive numbers are always greater than 0. So if a is greater than 0, in that case you will observe the parabola which is open upwards. So see the next one. Here, if you observe, the coefficient of x square is -1. So since the number is negative, that means a is less than 0. If a is less than 0, then the parabola is open downwards. Now come to how to find the roots of quadratic equation by factorization method. So I've taken one equation here, that is 4x square minus 11x plus 6. So to solve this equation by using factorization method, so you are going to use the method split the middle term. So if we observe that at the middle term we have minus 11x. So we need to split this minus 11x in such a way that if we add these two numbers, we should get minus 11x. And if we multiply these two numbers, that should be equal to the product of the first term and the last term. That is 24x square. 4x square into 6 is 24x square. So now just see, to find the factors here, you're going to find the factors of this 24x square. So for this 24x square, you all know that 24, we can write it as a product of 1 and 24. So if we multiply, we get it as 24. If I write 2 here, then it will be 12. We know that 2 12s are 24. If I write 3 here, then it will be 3 8s are 24. Then for 4, it is 4 6s are 24. So these are the factors for 24. So, but just now check that when we add these factors, are we getting 11x? So, if I add these two, here we are getting 25. If I add these two, we are getting 14. If we add these two, we are getting 11. And if I add these two, that is 4 plus 6, we are getting 10. So, here we will not take this 25, we will not take this 14, and we will not take this 10, because we want the sum of the two numbers as 11. So here 3 plus 8 is 11, but can you see this negative sign? For this negative sign, here we are going to put minus here and here also minus. So minus 3 and minus 8 is equal to minus 11. So we are going to split this 11x minus 11x as minus 8x and minus 3x. Now just check. When we multiply minus 3x and minus 8x, are we getting 24x square? So here when we multiply minus 8x and minus 3x, we are getting that is equal to 24x square. So we are going to split this 11x as minus 8x and minus 3x. And the first term we are going to write as it is. And the last term we are going to write as it is. Now just check in these two terms what is common. So in these two terms we get 4 and x as common. So from this term x is left, and from this term minus 2 is left. And from these two terms we get minus 3 as common, and from this term x is left, and from this term minus 2 is left. So please be careful here, in place of this minus, don't replace this with plus. So this is the general mistake the students do. Since we have brought minus outside the bracket, so this minus changes the sign here. This plus will become minus, which is equal to 0. So now just check Again we have two terms, this first term and this is second term. So from these two terms, what you find, x minus 2 is common in both the terms. So we have taken this x minus 2 as common out. So now inside the bracket, from this term 4x is left, and from this term minus 3 is left, which is equal to 0. So now we have two factors, both are equal to 0. So first factor, that is x minus 2, will also be equal to 0, and 4x minus 3 also equal to 0. So now solve this one. X is equal to 2, and when we solve it, we are getting x is equal to x as 3 upon 4. So we get the zeros as x will be equal to 2 and 3 upon 4. So we are getting two roots of this equation, that is 2 and 3 upon 4. Now it comes how to find the nature of the roots. So here, as we have solved the previous equation, so there we got the nature of root, that is we had two distinct real roots. But here, by seeing the equation, how we are going to identify that what is the nature of the roots. If the equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, so to identify the nature of the roots, we need to find the discriminant. So discriminant means b square minus 4ac. So we need to find the value of b square minus 4ac. So if you solve this d equal to b square minus 4ac, if you get the value of d that is greater than 0, in that case you will get two distinct real roots. If you get the value of d equal to 0, for that equation you will have two equal real roots. If the value of d is less than 0, then you get that equation does not have any real roots. So let me take the same equation here, that is 4x square minus 11x plus 6 equal to 0. Here the value of a is 4, that is coefficient of x square, and the value of b, that is coefficient of x minus 11, and the value of c is constant number, that is 6. So we need to find the discriminant, that is b square minus 4ac, to find the nature of roots. So d is equal to b square minus 4ac. So b square is minus 11 square, that is 121, minus 4 into a is 4 and c is 6. Solve it. 121 minus 4 4 are 16, 16 6 are 96. So when we subtract 96 from 121, we get 25. So the value of d is 25, which is positive, and you all know that d is greater than 0. So here the nature of this root will be that this equation has two distinct real roots. So this is the way we identify. If instead of this 25, if we would have got d equal to 0, in that case we would say that the equation has two equal real roots. And if 25 would have been negative, that means d is less than 0, and for that equation the real roots does not exist. Now how to use the quadratic formula to find the roots. Finding roots of quadratic equation by using quadratic formula. So for this equation here, this is the quadratic formula to find the roots of the equation. So again here, if I take the same example, same equation, 4x square minus 11x plus 6 equal to 0. For same equation, again as I said, here a is coefficient of x square, that is 4, and b is coefficient of x, that is minus 11, and c is constant, that is 6. So now replace the value here. X is equal to minus b. So minus and b is negative 11, that is minus 11, plus minus root of b square minus 4ac, as we already found for the same equation, b square minus 4ac is 25. So replace 25 here upon, in place of 2a, we are going to write 2 into where a is 4, which is equal to minus into minus 11 is 11 plus minus root of 25 is 5 upon 2 fours are 8. Now here, so since two signs are here, plus and minus, so write this as 2 times 11 plus 5 upon 8, and the other term, other number will be 11 minus 5 upon 8. Solve it now. 11 plus 5 is 16 upon 8, and 11 minus 5 is 6 upon 8. Cancel it. So we get here 2, and cancel this 2 3s and 2 4s. So the other 0 is 3 upon 4. So here we get the roots as 2 and 3 upon 4 for this quadratic equation. So I think I cleared the concept of this chapter. So let's solve the questions. If x is equal to minus half is a solution of the quadratic equation 3x square plus 2kx minus 3 equal to 0, find the value of k. So here in this question, the 0 of the equation is given, that is minus half. So we are going to replace this minus half in this equation in place of x. So replace minus half in place of x. So that is 3 into minus half square plus 2 into k into, in place of x we will write minus half, minus 3 is equal to 0. 3 into minus half square is 1 upon 4, because k into minus 1 is minus k, and minus 3 is equal to 0. So it is 3 upon 4 minus k minus 3 is equal to 0. So when we solve, 3 upon 4 minus 3 is 3 minus 12 upon 4 minus k is equal to 0. So 3 minus 12 is minus 9 upon 4 minus k is equal to 0. Shift this minus k to this side. So we get k is equal to minus 9 upon 4. So the value of k is minus 9 upon 4. So let's see what is there in the next question. Find the value of p so that the quadratic equation px into x minus 3 plus 9 is equal to 0 has two equal roots. So whenever you see here, the nature of roots is given. So when the nature of roots, it is given that as equal roots, so you should be knowing that means d is equal to 0. The discriminant will be equal to 0. So before using this, let's write the equation in the standard form. So here px into x minus 3 plus 9 is equal to 0. Open the bracket. So it is px into x is px square minus px into minus 3 is 3px plus 9 is equal to 0. So now this equation is in the standard form where the value of a is the coefficient of x square, that is p, and the value of b is the coefficient of x, that is minus 3p, and the value of c is constant, that is 9. So since the equation has two equal roots, that means d is equal to 0. So do write, since the equation has two equal roots. Therefore, p is equal to 0. And we know that discriminant is expressed as b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Put the values. Here the value of b is minus 3p. So b square will be minus 3p whole square minus 4 into a is p and c is 9 is equal to 0. Solve it. Minus 3p whole square is minus 3 square is 9 and p square is p square minus 4 into 9 is 36 and 36 into p is 36p equal to 0. So shift this minus 36p to the other side. So you get 9p square equal to 36p. Cancel this. 9 ones are and 9 fours are. And here if you observe, we can cancel this p square with p. So we are left with p is equal to 4. So here we get the value of p as 4. So the same this equation we can solve the other way also. Just check. Instead of shifting this minus 36p to the other side, we will see that two terms are there, and from these two terms we observe 9p is common in both the terms. So we'll take 9p common out, and from this term we are left with p minus, and from this term we are left with 4 is equal to 0. So now can you see here two factors are there, 9p and the other factor is p minus 4. So 9p will be equal to 0 and p minus 4 will also be equal to 0. So when we solve this, we get p is equal to, shift this 9 to the other side, we get 0 upon 9, that is 0. And here if you solve this, p minus 4 is equal to 0. Shift this minus 4 the other side, we get the value of p as 4. So now here we got the value of p as 0 and 4. But just you see here, for this equation, quadratic equation, you all know that the coefficient of x square, that is p, will not be equal to 0. This p should not be equal to 0. Because if you put 0 here, it becomes 0 into x square, which is 0. So then this equation will not be quadratic, rather it will be a linear equation. So the value of this p can't be equal to 0. So we ignore this value p equal to 0 and we take p equal to 4. If you solve this way, please be careful. You will ignore the value of p as 0. So now let's see the next question. Solve for x for the equation 4 root 3x square plus 5x minus 2 root 3 equal to 0. So we need to find here the value of x, that is we need to find the roots of the quadratic equation. So to find the roots, you can use either factorization method or the quadratic formula. So here I'm going to explain you the factorization method. So to use the factorization method, we are going to find what is there in the middle term. So here in the middle term we have 5x, and we will find that what is the product of the first and the last term. So the product of the first term, that is 4 root 3x square, and the last term is minus 2 root 3, is root 3 into root 3 is 3 and 4 into minus 2 is minus 8x square, which is minus 24x square. So we need to split this middle term, that is 5x, such that the sum of these two numbers should be equal to 5x and the product of these two numbers should be equal to minus 24x square. So to find those two numbers, we are going to find the factors of this 24. So that is 1 into 24 is 24, 2 into 12 is 24, 3 into 8 is 24, and 4 into 6 is also 24. Now just check which one we will take it here. So here, if we add these two numbers, that is 1 and 24, we are getting it as 25. And if you find the difference of these two numbers, we get 23. If we add these 2 and 12, we get 14. And if you find the difference of these two numbers, we get 10. If we add 3 and 8, we get 11. And if you find the difference, we get 5. So, just you observe here, somewhere we require these two numbers only. So, I'm writing here the difference of these two is 5. And here if we add these two numbers 4 and 6, we are getting it 10, and the difference of these two numbers we are getting it as 2. So this we will not take. We will not take this also, we will not take this, rather we will take this 3 and 8. Now the main concern is that here as we are finding the difference, so the main part is that which one should be negative, the largest one or the smallest one. So since the middle term is positive here, so that means the largest one should be positive and the smallest number should be negative. So 8x minus 3x is 5x. So now multiply these two, 8x into minus 3x. So if you multiply these two, we get minus 24x square. So we are going to now split the middle term. So write the first term as it is, that is 4 root 3 x square, and now split this middle term, that is as 8x minus 3x. So plus 8x minus 3x, and write this last term as it is, which is equal to 0. From these two terms we have 4x is common. So inside the bracket in the first term we are left with root 3x, plus in the second term 2 is left. And now just check for these two terms. Here we have minus common, and from these two terms here 3 is there and here root 3 is there. So we know that 3 is the product of root 3 into root 3. So here the second term is 2 root 3. So from these two we find that root 3 is common. So we will write root 3 as common out. So inside the bracket here we will be left with, here we'll be left with 1 root 3 we have written. So we are left with root 3 into x minus is already taken out. So here it will be plus. And from this term 2 is left, that is equal to 0. So now if we observe from these two terms, root 3x plus 2 is common. So take that common out, root 3x plus 2. And from this term 4x is left, and from this term minus root 3 is left. Again we got two factors here. One factor is root 3x plus 2 and the other factor is 4x minus root 3 equal to 0. So equate these two factors with 0. Root 3x plus 2 will be equal to 0 and 4x minus root 3 will also be equal to 0. So now find the value of x. X will be equal to minus 2 upon root 3, and from here x will be equal to root 3 upon 4. So these two are the zeros of the equation. So the value of x is minus 2 upon root 3 and root 3 upon 4. So now just check here, since we never leave the denominator as in the form of root, so you can rationalize this number. So minus 2 upon root 3 into root 3 upon root 3. So will be equal to minus 2 root 3 upon 3, and the other 0 is root 3 upon 4. So we get the value of x as minus 2 root 3 upon 3 and root 3 upon 4. Just see what is next. A girl is twice as old as her sister. 4 years hence, the product of the ages will be 160. Find their present ages. So, the question based on the ages are very easy to solve. Just check here to find their present ages. We are going to assume let the present age of her sister. Let the present age of girl's sister as X years. Then the present age of the girl will be can you see? It is mentioned twice as old as her sister. So her sister's age is X years. So the girl's age will be 2 times of the her sister's age. That is 2x years. So now 4 years hence. As the question is based on 4 years hence. So you should be knowing the age of both the girl and her sister after 4 years. After 4 years, sister's age will be, so you add 4 to x, that is x plus 4 years, and the girl's age will be add 4 to 2x, that is 2x plus 4 years. Now just see the relation between these two. After 4 years they have given the relation. The product of the ages will be 160. So after 4 years, it is given that product of the ages of the girl and her sister will be 160. So that is x plus 4 into 2x plus 4 will be equal to 160. Now solve it. Open the bracket. Multiply this x with 2x. We get 2x square. X into 4 is 4x. 4 into 2x is 8x. And 4 into 4 is 16 equal to 160. So 2x square 4x plus 8x is 12x plus 16 equal to 160. So shift this 160 to the other side. So it is 2x square plus 12x plus 16 minus 160 is equal to 0. So now just subtract this 16 and 160. So we get here as 144, which is equal to 0. So now can you see here, from all these three terms, we find 2 is the common multiple of these three terms. So here we'll be left with x square plus 6x minus 72 equal to 0. So now solve it. Let's split the middle term. So the middle term we have 6x and the product of the first term and the last term we have as minus 72 x square. So when we split this term, to split this middle term, we'll find the factors of this 72. So when we get here it as 12 6 72. So we get two factors, that is 12x and 6x. So if we find the difference of these two, we are getting it as 6x, and when we multiply it add these two, we get it as 72x square. So here just check that which sign will be positive and which number will have the negative sign. So since the middle term is positive, so here the greater number will be positive and the smaller one will be negative. So when we solve this, we are getting it as 6x, and when we multiply 12x with minus 6x, we are getting it as minus 72x square. So solve it now. X square, and when we split the middle term, we get here as plus 12x minus 6x, and write the last term as it is. Minus 72 is equal to 0. From these two terms, the first two terms, we get x as common. So from the first term, x is left, and from the second term 12 is left. So from these two terms, minus is common and 6 is common. Take it out. So in the first term here, x is left, and here we are left with 12. And just remember, minus is here and minus is already taken out. So here the sign will be positive. So 6 12s are 72, which is equal to 0. So now just check here. In these two terms, again x plus 12 is common. So take that x plus 12 out, and inside the bracket we are left with x and minus 6, which is equal to 0. So we have two factors. So equate both the factors with 0. So x will be equal to minus 12 and x will be equal to 6. So it's very clear. You all know that the age can't be negative. So we ignore this and we take the value of x as 6. And we have assumed the value of x as the sister's age. So sister's age is 6 years. Sister's age is equal to 6 years, and the girl's age is equal to 2 times of the sister's age, that is 12 years. So we got the present ages of the two girls. Just see the next question. A train travels 180 km at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 9 km per hour more, it would have taken 1 hour less for the same journey. Find the speed of the train. The questions based on speed, distance and time are very important. So here just see what is given here. Distance is given, that is 180 km, and since here the speed of the train is not given, so we are going to assume the speed as x kilometer per hour, and for this the time taken will be distance upon speed, that is 180 upon x. Now the condition they have given, if the train increases the speed by 9 km per hour, then it would take 1 hour less for the same journey. So this will take use of later. Before that, here since the distance is 180 km, so just let's find what will be the time based on this distance and speed. So that is distance upon speed, where distance is 180 and the speed is x plus 9. So we have got two times, one when the speed is x and the other time when the speed is increased by 9 km per hour. So the equation will be 180 upon x minus 180 upon x plus 9 is equal to, they have given the difference of timing as 1. Now the main part is that which time is greater, this time is greater or this time is greater. So when the speed increases, you all know that when the speed increases, the time reduces, and when the speed is less, the time taken is more. So we know that this time is greater than this time. That is the reason the equation is 180 upon x minus 180 upon x plus 9 is equal to 1. Let's solve. Just see in these two terms what is common. 180 is common. So take that 180 out. So from here we are left with 1 upon x, and from second term we are left with 1 upon x plus 9 left, which is equal to 1. So now solve this two terms, that is 180 into the LCM is x into x plus 9, and here in the numerator we will have x plus 9 minus x equal to 1. Cancel this positive and the negative x. Multiply this 180 with 9. We get 1620 upon, multiply this, x into x is x square and x into 9 is 9x equal to 1. So take this x square plus 9x the other side. So we get 1620 is equal to x square plus 9x. So shift this 1620 to the other side. We get x square plus 9x minus 1620 equal to 0. So now again factorize it and find the values of x. So it will be x square plus 45x minus 36x. We split this 9x, that is 45x minus 36x. When we multiply these two numbers, we get 1620 into x square, that is 1620 x square. And when we solve these two, we get 9x. So write the last term as it is equal to 0. Just check in these two terms what is common. X is common in these two terms, and in the first term x is left, and in the next term 45 is left. So from these two terms minus is common, and here 36 is common. So from this term x is left, and since minus we have taken out, so the sign changes here and it becomes positive, and in this next term we are left with 45, which is equal to 0. In these two terms again x plus 45 is common, so we'll take this out, and from this term x is left, and from this term minus 36, which is equal to 0. So equate these two factors with 0. So x plus 45 is equal to 0 and x minus 36 is equal to 0. Solve it. X will be equal to minus 45 and x will be equal to 36. Again, as you all know, speed can't be negative, so we ignore this value and we take the positive value, that is x is equal to 36. So speed of the train is equal to 36 km per hour. So this is the answer. Now do self-assessment by solving these questions, and do write the answers in the comment box. 2 more videos of this chapter based on important questions of CBSE will be uploaded soon. Do subscribe this channel to get updated with the upcoming videos. Thank you.